Hey guys, Ryan here, and today we're diving into something every service-based business owner should be paying attention to. It's Google local service ads and local search engine optimization, how they work, why they matter, and how to actually get leads from them. And I've got someone who's in the trenches every single day, helping business owners do exactly that. His name's Roque. He's our salesperson at Accelerate Marketing. And he's not just closing deals, he's worked with many clients, helping them get their LSAs up and running, troubleshooting what's not working, and turn that into real results. He knows what makes these campaigns, these Google local service ads campaigns and these Google business profile campaigns work and succeed. And or they could flop as well. And so this is one of the things that he's really good at, is identifying, who is a good fit, who's not a good fit for us. And today we're going to break it all down. And Roque, we're glad you're here, man. So let's jump in. How you doing?
Nice to be here. I'm great. Thank you, Ryan.
Awesome. All right.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So let's set the stage for someone who's never heard of local service ads. What are they? And by the way, before I get started, I know that we've got some people in the waiting room. S is in the waiting room, and today we're gonna. And I forgot to let people know this, but on the school community, I think we announced it, that typically today we do our our AI conversation. Today it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to introduce Roque to the community and help people know a little bit more about how we can help them. So that's what today's content is going to be about. So like I was saying, for someone who's never heard of local service ads, what are they and why should a local business care?
Well, Ryan, first of all, it's really nice to be here. And I'll be glad to help anyone that makes any questions. So it's fun to be here. Well, so for local service ads, Ryan, think of LSA as the VIP lane of Google. Can you share my screen?
Yeah.
Awesome. When you show up on Google local service ads, the first thing that you need to understand is that you will appear at the top of the search results page, which is going to be right up the section here. You're going to be displayed above regular ads, which is going to be this section here, above at the map section and the results page, or the organic page too. So that's one of the advantages that using local service ads will put you in, because you'll be in a better position compared to other companies that does not use it as one of the main platforms to achieve results using lead generation. Another thing that needs to be said is that the payment model is different. Usually when you have a website, you're used to pay for every single click that a user that goes into your website clicks. At local service ads, though, you will only pay for someone who contacts you and not for clicks. It is more designed for service-based businesses, and the key benefit of it is that you're going to have the fastest result as possible when you set it up correctly.
Yeah, I agree. And it's all about setting the campaign up correctly. And I appreciate you sharing your screen there, because it definitely helps people see what it is that we're talking about. It's showing up in that Google local service ads section above everything else. And so I'm going to go back here. So then why do some businesses show up consistently and others barely get seen? Okay.
Oh, well, let me share my experience working at Accelerate Marketing. The majority of the top performers that partner with LSA experts like we are, they use companies like we to optimize the profile. That way you can have your account managed from an expert daily. But if you want to be at the top of your competitors, that's where the 3 R's come in. The first of the 3 R's is reviews. Well, Google, they love trust, and reviews are your digital reputation. So if we check, can you share my screen quickly again, Ryan?
Yeah.
Thanks. So here, when we see the amount of reviews that Roto-Rooter has, it's 2.1 thousand compared to Prestige Plumbing, which has 496. They have 4.7 star rating compared to 4.9 from Prestige, but you see that they have 4 times more reviews than Prestige has, and that creates a digital reputation and a social proof that Roto-Rooter knows what they're doing. That's the impact of reviews, and that's one of the things that Google will always check in order to rank you better. The second R is what we call the radius. Radius is how you're going to optimize the locations that you're going to provide your services. Because if you're not showing up on the right zip codes, you're going to be invisible to nearby customers. So it's really important for you to set up the right radius. And the last R is what we call the response rate. Answering phone calls and messages within 30 seconds is crucial for your business, because if you miss or start to ignore calls, Google will slow you down. It will slow down your visibility. And that's really important to do.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, it's all about the 3 R's: reviews, radius, response rate. And if any 3 of those drop, then obviously the person's going to drop in their rankings. Um, so
For sure.
so I'm going to go back to just us. Okay, so that makes sense.
Okay.
So a lot of customers say, I already have a Google Business Profile. Isn't that enough?
Well, Google Business Profile is a great tool. It will help you to appear in Google Maps and organic search, and it will help you to build your online presence. But local service ads, on the other side, will provide you a top tier placement above all other results. Just like we show you on the screen.
Mhm.
It will offer higher visibility, and it's highly clickable. Can you share it again, please?
Yeah, I'm showing the screen. Yep.
Awesome. So if we see those profiles here, we can click on buttons like right here. We can book an appointment. We can rightly call to a business provider, or we can send messages. That creates an interaction with your customer in order to empowers conversion, and that's one of the things that the LSA can provide for you. Well, but in my opinion, the best practice, if you're thinking about opening a Google Business Profile or a local service ads, do both. Use Google Business Profile as to consolidate your online presence, and local service ads to start getting leads as fast as you can for maximum impact. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's mainly it.
Yeah, I agree. I think having both synergistically work together gets a business more leads than if they're just showing up in one or the other. And we've seen that time and time again. If they're both on the maps and in the Google local service ad section, typically they work synergistically together, and they'll get more leads as a result, which makes complete sense, because people just get
For sure.
you get reinforcement. They're like, oh, they're down on the maps and they're at the top. This must be a really legitimate business. So
Yeah.
okay, so walk me through a smooth LSA setup and what that looks like for a new business. What's involved?
Okay. I'm going to share the experience that I have at Accelerate Marketing. With the 15 years that we have, more than 15 years in experience working with local service ads and Google Business Profile, we developed a step-by-step process in order to optimize the way that we start new accounts. So the first step is the eligibility check. We need to confirm if the business is a qualified business, and some categories require licenses or even background checks. So that's the first step that we need to accomplish. The second step, though, is the profile setup and approval. That's when we assist our partners in getting the profile approved directly with Google. That's the part two that we start to develop the correct service areas, which is called, like we just talked about, just radius. And if required a proof of insurance, that's when we upload it in order to make it to the third step. The third step is what we call the strategic optimization. That's when, and right from the beginning, we just start gathering reviews. That part here is something that I need to say is that we see a lot of business owners that they try to rush this process. They start to see some results and they try to push the process as fast as they can to see some leads flowing in. Mainly, it's great to have an increasing amount of leads, but the section here is to optimize the quality of the leads. So if we follow this step by step, it's going to be way better for you to have qualified leads than just a bunch of leads. So what we do is that we can use our expertise and support to leverage those processes and to navigate common challenges. Depending on the issues, let's say that we have a unique issues with a partner or in an account, we have direct contact with Google local service ads account managers and to solve them. And as far as I'm seeing, Ryan, our teams are often unbelievable in the results that they're driving. And it's even to us at working with it for so long, we're seeing really good changes, really good achievements. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And by the way, if you have any questions, I'm going to post them to the screen here. If you've got any questions, you can post them here, and I'll show them on the screen. Thanks, Daryl and Natalie, for posting those comments. So, how fast can somebody actually start getting leads after going live?
Okay. For me to give you this answer, something needs to be clear, which is you need to have the right setup. You need to set it up right in order to start to get the fast results. But you can have quick results. Some clients of ours, they started getting leads within hours after launching. So not only that, having the right setup, you need to follow the 3 R's that we just discussed. First one is real reviews from customers. Second one is a responsive person to answer phone calls and messages. The third one is to set up the radius on a very optimized way and having a fully optimized profile. I've seen some risks regarding a poor setup. Usually, there are some business owners that they think that they're good on ranking, but yeah, you may be ranking, but you're not standing out. You're leaving a lot of money on the table for your competitors because it's not optimized. Mm-hmm. So when you have a poor optimized setup, the results may be short-lived without the right foundation. You need to have in mind that Google gives you a 60-day cycle to truly evaluate your LSA performance. So they will check if you're answering calls, asking for reviews, setting up your account the right way. And after those 60 days, if you do not follow the right strategy, you will see a considerable decrease in your lead generation. But yeah, you can have some quick results, but be in mind that you need to set up your profile the best way possible.
Yeah, it can take a little while sometimes. I agree with you. It can take a little while for the page to be set up and for Google to approve it. There's a verification process, license, certificate, there's all insurance, those things need to be approved so that the business can be verified. So that process can take a little while, which is why people like Google local service ads, right? Because there's a verification process that, the business is endorsed by Google. This has been a big problem for years with the Google business profile section. So, anyway, let's zoom in on reviews. Why do they carry so much weight? Okay.
Well, reviews, they are Google's trust signals. Can you share my screen again really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so reviews is Google's trust signals. That means that it will have some direct impact on your ranking, how credible you appear, and how well you convert your leads. It will deliver a social proof of your profile, of your business, and how you deal with customers. Let's jump the first two here because I already talked about them. And let's have some examples here about the other ones. Okay, let's say this one. Emergency AC. They have 1,659 reviews with a 4.8 star rating. And down here we have R&J Plumbing. They have 184 with 4.8 star rating. It's just like if you're going to buy a product at Amazon and you let's say that you want a blender, you see a different types of blenders in Amazon, but you don't know a lot about blenders. The first thing that you will do is that you check the star rating of the product. That's the same thing here. If we check the numbers that we see on Emergency AC, it shows me not only that they are good on what they do, it shows me that they have a lot of experience because they already supported 1,659 people at least for the jobs that they provide. So it can grant us a social proof, and it will be more likely for me to hire someone that has a higher star rating with a higher amount of reviews than a lower one.
Mhm.
It matters because reviews can boost your ranking in search results. It will build trust and it will increase your conversion rates. But talking about our approach is that we help automate the review process, something that we call the culture training, to become so efficient and natural inside our partners' process that they would just stop to begging for stars. So yeah, reviews are really, really important.
Yeah, they're important. And Daryl actually asked a good question here, which you answered. How can I effectively manage and encourage positive customer reviews? And you kind of touched on that through our review culture training that we have. It's a unique strategy that we've developed over the past 16 years. In order to get grassroots, if you will, reviews. And we do the same. We follow the same policy ourselves. We follow the same structure, this review culture training we do in our own company in order to get reviews for us. We drink our own juice, so to speak, it's what's allowed us to get up to almost 400 reviews just on Google alone over the past 16 years. And there are other strategies, Daryl. Another one would be like using there's cards that you can get tap cards. That's a really good strategy. We do help our clients get those, and that's another strategy that can be implemented as well. So great question. Thanks for the questions. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and ask them. Let's hit that second R, radius. Can I control where my ads show?
Sure. Radius is going to be the way that you're going to select the service areas. You can choose it by areas, zip codes, counties, or areas by zip codes, counties, or cities. But a key factor is that you need to have the idea of location proximity, because it matters more than just selected areas. Because if your business address is far from the targeted areas, you may not appear where you want to be. So our solution is that we have a proven strategy and not guesswork to optimize visibility in the desired areas of our customers. Having in mind that for every single location, there is a very specific way to set up the locations using zip codes, cities, or counties. We see a lot of business owners trying to guess the best way for them. Bear in mind that Google takes some time to understand what you're doing on your profile. So having someone to do that for you will be way better than just trying to guess.
Yeah, I would agree. There's definitely a strategy that we've learned over the years, and just like anything else, the more times that you see a situation, the better you get at it. If you're a trial lawyer and you go to trial a lot of times, you get better and better at being a trial lawyer, just like we've done, over the years as well. And there's strategies that we learn along the way. So response rate, the third R. What's the impact of missing a few calls here and there? Does it really matter?
Yeah, it's huge. Your response rate time is critical for your ranking factor. Well, first of all, Google will track how quickly you respond to leads. So if you're answering leads within 30 seconds, it understands that you're able to keep receiving leads and offering your product or your services as fast as you can. But if you start to have missed calls, or if you're starting to have slow replies, that might be a signal to Google for unreliability. So Google may lower your ranking, or even worse, they start to give your spot to a competitor. So what you can do, which is what we do here, is to set up call flows. The second thing is that to create backup systems or even AI to ensure that no lead will be lost. With that in tandem, we have a monitoring team that does an incredible work that will ensure that every lead gets answered or followed up with. We have a dedicated call monitoring team, which does not only tracks it, but deliver real insights. We will help you to improve your intake process and team performance as well. We have some common misconceptions as well, because I see many business owners when I start talking with them. When I ask them if they are used to answer calls, they tell me that they answer all the calls that they've got, but don't actually. that shows me two things. The first thing is that they do not know how many calls they got. And that's something that's really important. And the second one is that they do not know how to manage the LSA. So even that, if they have an intake team, how do they know what's really happening during the call? And how can they improve the process if they don't know what's happening? And so that's why I see a lot of business owners that starting to having a lot of leads, but they only book around one or two new appointments. So having an intake team, a red intake team as we have, will not only help you to improve your conversion, but you have some impact on your business itself. So yeah, response rate is really important.
Yeah, I agree. I see a lot of times where business owners, most of the time, they think that they answer all the calls. They just
Yeah.
assume. And when you actually dig a little deeper and you look, you see that it's, that the voice calls typically we see across the board about 70% of calls are answered and about 30% are missed across the
Yeah.
board, which is a lot. Um, and when you combine that with the fact that if you answer the phone within 5 minutes, you have a 20, I think it's a 21 times more likelihood that you're going to actually convert the lead versus somebody that answers after five
Oh,
minutes or like 30 minutes. So there's a lot of data on that. There's an MIT study, there's a Harvard study. So anyway, so one of the questions that Christina's asking is, if I have a high volume, is it okay to miss calls? So if somebody has a high volume of calls, is it okay?
well, it will never be okay. Don't think that just missing some calls will be, it's fine. Think that the possibility for you to have a competitor that's having the same amount of calls that you might be having is real. So if you're losing calls and your competitor is not, guess who's going to be better ranked than you? Yeah.
Yeah. I think really what it comes down to is, and this is what our software shows. We've got specific local service ads software that we've developed, over the past 2 years that actually keeps the data over time. When the Google Local Service Ads platform erases it sometimes for certain verticals, and what the other reason why we have our software is to identify what the percentage of calls is relative to the number of missed calls. So if you have a high volume of calls and you still have a high volume of missed calls, it all comes down to the percentage. So you got to know how many calls are being missed overall. So it's the percentage that really matters. So you could have 10 calls and miss one, and you got a 90%
Yeah.
answer rate, and you could have 100 calls and miss 20 and have an 80% answer rate. So the 80% is worse than the 90%. And so, it's all relative to, what the, percentage of missed calls are. That's why we represent that as a percentage. So anyway, and we do that for both voice and for messaging, which is awesome. So, so let's talk about local SEO. Is it relevant if you're doing LSA to do local SEO? How important is it to do Google Business, otherwise known as Google Business Profile Optimization, or some people call it local SEO? They're the same thing. How important is it to do that if you're doing LSA? How important is it to do local SEO?
Okay. So let's separate both of those things. First, LSAs will give you quick wins. Okay. It's great for generating leads fast, and it's ideal for immediate fast visibility and conversions. And local SEO, on the other hand, it's focused more on long-term growth. It will build you a sustainable visibility over time, and it will help you to rank organically in maps and search. It's a great opportunity if you want to develop a consistent marketing strategy to use both of them. Why both of them? That's because LSAs can bring leads now, and SEO will keep you growing in the future. So having a strong local SEO will enhance your Google Business Profile performance for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it's, you've got the maps down below and you've got the Google Local Service Ads up top. And, like we said before, if you're showing up in both, that's great. And a lot of people get confused. Do you pay for the people that call from the maps? You don't technically. You pay for the optimization that an agency like Accelerate would do to get you to show up on the maps, and that needs to be factored into your ROI or your return on investment. A lot of people just go, "Oh, I don't, that's free." Well, if you're paying for search engine optimization, then you're paying for showing up there. And if you're not paying to show up there and to be optimized, then you're probably not showing up. So anyway, it is a very important strategy, and I'd say about 30% of people select from that map section, and probably about 30 to 40% select from the local service ads. And when you combine the two and you're in both, you're probably you really, like I said, you really increase your likelihood that you're going to get selected. So okay, should we run ads 24/7 or just during business hours? What do you think?
If no one is answering at night, don't waste your money. But if you have the right system, 24/7 will work surely. You can use, let's say, overnight intake process and an answering service or an AI to handle your leads. It will allow you to qualify and respond to leads even outside business hours. So it will improve the likelihood of you to get new opportunities and to get a top of your competitors. The real advantage is that if you have a 24/7 responsiveness, can give you a competitive edge. I've already seen some customers simply by being able to answer one phone call at 11 p.m., they just started to convert more leads. So having a 24/7 can be a great strategy, but only if you're willing to answer those phone calls or messages, or having, like, let's say, an AI to answer those phone calls and schedule appointments for you.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comment section. We really appreciate everybody joining today. And yeah, I agree. I mean, if you go, from my experience and what we've talked about, Roque, over the years is that,
Yeah.
and what we've trained you on is exactly what you just said. I mean, you do get a little bit of a bump or an increase in the lead volume typically, because now you're not just 9 to 5, you're 24/7. So you're exposed for more hours. So it makes sense that you'd get a little bit of an increase in lead volume. And then, like, I agree again, having some system, if it's not a human, having something back up that human intake system or process that you have to make sure that those calls are answered. And if you do get to those phone calls or those message leads, you're going to be the one that wins it if you're the first one to get there. And that applies to not only Google local service ads, that applies to Thumbtack, to Yelp, to Angie's List, and all the other lead generation platforms out there that sell leads. And most of them are, go to the business owner by email or messages. So anyway, so sometimes it's really tough to respond to them. So how can I track the success of my LSAs in real time?
Well, I can take the thread that you said previously. If you use Google Ads in our custom LSA software, you can monitor your performance live. It can track calls, manage messages, leads, and your response time. The benefits of it, though, is that you can make adjustments on the fly based on the results that you have immediately. So that will give you the possibility to manage your business and your local service ads performance. And if you have intending and ongoing support and monitoring team, like we can actively monitor your performance, the performance for our clients, and we can provide you with alerts like it's how long it's been for you to get a new review, and if an intake team is not performing really well. So having a software that will give in time information can be crucial to stay at the top of the competition for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good answer. And yeah, I mean, tracking the success of what's going on, of basically the ads, is so important. If you're not getting an ROI and the ROI doesn't make sense for a business, then it just doesn't make sense. And that's one of the reasons why we do the audit in the beginning, is to identify if it's going to make sense to even work with somebody at all in the first place, based on our experience with that vertical or that business type. So Do LSAs work for every type of service, or are they better for certain industries?
Well, LSAs work across many industries. It's ideal for local service providers of all kinds, like plumbers, lawyers, roofers, moving companies. As long as you provide a local service, LSA can be a game changer for you if you know how to set it up properly. We've seen incredible results for new businesses that just open accounts and businesses that are already running their local service ads but wanted to optimize them using strategies from a wide range of industries. So yeah, it's a if you have the possibility to have it, it would be strongly advised.
Yeah, I think we've seen certain verticals get amazing results, and I think really what it comes down to is another big thing is how well set up the business is to optimize those three R's and work with us as a team to optimize those three R's: the reviews, the radius, the response rate. If they've already got a lot of reviews and they've got somebody that can, that we can, outsource the identification of conversions so that we can get the ROI and things like that, we find that we have a much better chance of getting good results for the client. And obviously, if we can work with them on that response rate and getting those calls answered with their intake, that partnership is really, really important, as with anybody that we work with. So, okay, before we wrap up, what's one small thing a business owner can do every week that makes a big impact over time?
Well, if I could choose one small thing, it would be to set a review goal for your business. Aim for at least one review per week. And it matters because if you think about it, it will add around 52 reviews per year, might be far more than most competitors that you might be having. It will help you to build trust with potential customers, and it will boost your LSA ranking. With all of that, it will signal Google that you're a top provider in your area. I know it. I already saw some business owners saying that it might not be like hard to do that, but it has some big impact with a simple habit. So one of the easiest and most powerful habits that a business owner can have is to ask for reviews if they want to see their business thrive in local service ads.
Love gave us a softball, she said, and a great answer. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that getting reviews is critically important. This goes back to the partnership that we form with the businesses that we work with, over time, because we find that when we get to know the team that we're working with, that we give them the strategies that they need to really get the reviews, the really grassroots reviews, the ones that really can make an impact, because it's not just the number, it's also what people say in those reviews. And a lot of that comes from the training and that review culture training. So Love asked, how can I reach you to get an audit for my LSA?
Sure, just send us a message. You can send just audit or just send a message if you're looking for me at 619-304-5155, and we can help you with that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I'm going to put, I'll put it on the screen here. So awesome. Again, it's 619-304-5155 for a free audit of your LSAs. And we only take on clients. I mean, we're Google certified partners for the local service ads platform. We have been for probably about 6 to 7 years now, since it started, 8 years. And, we've been managing Google business profile pages for businesses since it came out, almost 16 years ago, like I said. And, we'll run a free audit. We spend a good amount of time running an audit, Mary or somebody on our team typically will run the audit by hand. They'll go and do the research necessary to find out if your business is either on track, if you're currently running Google local service ads, or if we're even able to take you on as a prospective client. Because we don't take on just anybody, because we only will take on businesses where we really truly feel like we can help them succeed, both with either the Google business profile or the Google local service ads optimization. So, Yeah, Roque, I really appreciate your insight, and I
Thank
have
you.
100% complete faith in Roque, being able to analyze your business and give you, along with our team, a really good audit of your Google Local Service Ads account. I would encourage you to leverage him and the knowledge that he's gained about specifically this platform, the Google Local Service Ads platform, and Google Business Profile optimization, because his insight is very valuable. And sometimes just a 1-degree shift or one shift in your business profile or local service ads page can make a huge difference, and can mean the difference between you getting 1 lead a month or 10 or 100 leads a month. So anyway, thanks, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.